submarine tours, foliage brushes, natural lagoons. These are 10 things that will make Lagoons in Jurassic World Evolution 3 better. The lagoons are honestly quite boring, with that boring concrete edge and the lack of immersion, and the fact that we got the Rebirth DLC, but our Spinos unfortunately can't interact with the Mosasaurus. But I think there's a solution to both these problems: the introduction of natural lagoons. Having natural lagoons would allow for more natural-looking enclosures for our marine animals, but would also allow our semi-aquatics to interact with them. Plus, with the hopeful comeback of the Archelon, natural lagoons would definitely make sense, since the Archelon did lay its eggs on land. This would be a great new type of lagoon. But let's talk about how we can improve our normal lagoons. The bottom of our lagoons are honestly quite boring, and I know we can use scenery pieces to decorate it, but I think there's a much simpler way. You see, we have foliage brushes for land habitats, foliage brushes for aviaries, but the lagoons, absolutely nothing. I think it's about time that our aquatic enclosures get some too. Give us kelp brushes, coral brushes, seagrass brushes. Having better customization like this would greatly improve our lagoon terrain. And speaking of which, one of the most disappointing parts about the lagoons is that you can't edit the terrain inside them. Improving the terrain manipulation for our lagoons would be an amazing addition, since it would allow us to create spectacular structures like deep cliffs and underwater mountains. This would also be useful for creating different water levels for our aquatic animals. Enhanced terrain for our lagoons is an update we definitely need for shaping our aquatic habitats. But the lagoon terrain isn't actually the only thing that needs shaping. The way that we create our lagoons, unfortunately, haven't changed since the second game. You can only shape your lagoons by using circular lagoon modules that fit together like a puzzle, which can honestly get a bit boring, so I think it's time that we got a new way to make our aquatic habitats. You see, Frontier's other game, Planet Coaster 2, has a cool feature that allows its players to make pools. You can basically draw a custom shape for your swimming pool, and when you connect it, it automatically fills up with water. I think this tool would be a great feature to have in Evolution 3, so that we can create our own lagoons by drawing a custom shape of our choice. Whether you want square or rectangle lagoons, or maybe even creating a blobby lagoon, having the ability for us to freeform our lagoons would allow so much creativity with no limits. Well, there is one limit. Ever since Evolution 2, the water in our lagoons has unfortunately remained unchanged. It's super gloomy and honestly kind of plain. We can barely even see our aquatic animals. We need the option to change the style of our water. Maybe you want your lagoons to have a green swamp vibe, or maybe even your favorite color, maybe even crystal clear water. Well, whatever you like, our lagoon water definitely deserves improvements to allow us to be super creative. Better water would also allow a better experience for our guests. Actually, let's talk more about our guests. When it comes to our guest experiences with our lagoons, it's honestly quite disappointing. The only functional lagoon attractions that we have right now are the viewing galleries and the viewing domes. So I think it's about time that we finally get some more aquatic attractions. We need submarine tours, lagoon tunnel pathways, underwater gyrosphere tours, viewing windows, and maybe even a lagoon version for our petting zoos to allow our guests to see our baby aquatics. Having more attractions will definitely make our lagoons a lot more interesting. The lagoons are the only enclosures in the game that don't have gates. Funnily enough, lagoon gates were actually found in the game files of Evolution 2. Here's an image of how it would have looked like. Frontier did create it, but it was unfortunately cut. I think having lagoon gates in Evolution 3 would be super useful to access different sections of our aquatic habitats. Maybe we could even get lagoon fences of some sort in the future. But there's actually something else that could also be super useful. The only feeders that we have for the lagoons are the fish feeders and the shark feeders. It's about time we got some much-needed variety. We need kelp feeders, live shark feeders, maybe even ammonite feeders. A stone feeder would also be good to help our aquatics with digestion. Having more feeders for our lagoons would make our aquatics a lot more real than ever. But if we're getting new feeder types, then our animals definitely need some new behaviors too. When it comes to unique animations, our lagoon animals are missing out on quite a lot of them. Our marine animals deserve new behaviors, like breathing, scratching themselves along the lagoon floors, breaching. And maybe even the large aquatic hunters can allow the fish from the fish feeder to clean their teeth. These new behaviors would honestly make our aquatics feel a lot more like real animals instead of lifeless blobs. But there's actually one main behavior that we've been wanting ever since Lagoons came to Jurassic World Evolution. These massive aquatic hunters are absolute beasts, but unfortunately, they don't act like it in-game. Lagoon animals are the only creatures in the game that don't pose any threat to our guests. So I think it's time for Frontier to hopefully change that. If our aquatics get too frustrated with their enclosures, they can attack viewing galleries in order to eat the guests. If a dinosaur or pteranodon gets too close, a mosasaur should snatch them up for lunch. If vehicles get too close, our aquatics should be able to attack them. Adding a whole new sense of danger factor to our lagoons would make them a lot more interesting for us, as well as motivating us to use them more often. All of these features would be amazing updates to improve our lagoons for the better. I'm not 100% sure if Frontier would ever add these, but I think we can only hope for the best. My prediction is that hopefully we would get most of these lagoon improvements before the end of 2026. But I'm curious what you guys think. What's your favorite feature that I mentioned in this video? Do you have any of your own improvements you'd like to see? Let me know in the comments. Every opinion matters. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have an awesome day. Stay amazing and stay peak.